In the first part of this video, we learn how Messi got started in football and who pushed him to greatness. However, his life wasn't a bed of roses. One of his biggest challenges was to find financial support for his medical treatment. His family was running out of options, so Messi tried out for River Plate, a club he admired because of Pablo Aimar. He only had a 20-minute tryout before they asked him to join. But before he could officially join River Plate, he needed a permit from Newell's. However, Newell's refused to give it to him, probably because they were afraid of losing a talented player like Messi. This rejection made Messi stay with Newell's for a couple more years. Despite their efforts, his family couldn't raise enough money for his treatment. Still, Messi kept playing, and the youth team continued to dominate. They won every tournament and even traveled across South America to play matches in other countries. They became so famous that their reputation spread far and wide. Their dominance was so overwhelming that there was a recurring joke about their goalkeeper getting bored during games. It was said that he would sit down on the penalty spot, watching the game as if he were among his many fans. Messi, of course, was the star of the show. He would often score 500 goals at the very least. One of Messi's coaches made a deal with him. He found out Messi loved these chocolate cookies from Argentina called alfajores, so he suggested that for every goal Messi scored in a match, he would get one of these cookies. But if Messi kept scoring at that rate, Messi would end up diabetic. So, as a joke, the coach proposed a new deal. He would only give Messi cookies if he scored a header. And what do you know? In the very next game, Messi practically dribbled through the entire opposing team, including the goalkeeper, got to the goal line, flicked the ball up, headed it into the goal, looked back at the coach, smiled, and showed him two fingers. When Messi was almost 13 years old, Carlos Rexach came to Brazil from Barcelona. Carlos wasn't just anybody. He used to play soccer professionally for FC Barcelona a long time ago, from 1965 to 1981. He played lots of games, won some important tournaments, and even worked closely with another famous soccer player named Johan Cruyff. Carlos had stopped playing soccer professionally, but he was still involved in the sport as a scout. While he was in Brazil, he got a call from an agent in Argentina who was excited about a young soccer player. The agent wanted Carlos to check out this kid. Carlos was curious and asked how old the kid was. To his surprise, the kid was only 13 years old. Carlos couldn't believe that someone so young could impress experienced soccer people so much. So he made a trip to Barcelona to see the kid play in person during tryouts. It was clear that this young player had something special. Back in Rosario, Messi's family was thrilled when they heard the news. They were excited because a big club like Barcelona could help Messi with his medical bills. However, there was a problem. Newell's, Messi's current club, had already blocked one transfer before. There was some tension between Messi's family and the club because they felt Newell's hadn't provided the promised financial support for Messi's treatment. So, Messi's family told Newell's that Messi was sick with pneumonia and wouldn't be able to attend training for about 3 weeks. In reality, Messi was heading to Barcelona to try out for the club. When Messi arrived in Barcelona, Carlos was away on his scouting duties. Many people were amazed by Messi's skills, but had doubts because of his height. They weren't sure if they should sign him. When Carlos returned and heard about Messi, he found it all very strange. He decided to watch a match by himself to see Messi play. As Carlos walked around the pitch, he couldn't help but be amazed by Messi's performance. It took him 15 minutes to complete one lap because he kept stopping to admire what Messi was doing on the field. When Carlos reached the bench, he sat down and told the rest of the staff to sign Messi without hesitation. You may think that from this day on, Messi's life will be smooth sailing. But the big bosses in Barcelona decided to cancel the deal. They thought Messi was too young and taking a chance on him was too risky. Plus, the club was going through a tough time financially after losing another player, Luis Figo, to Real Madrid. From September to December, nothing happened. Messi's family kept going back and forth between Argentina and Spain, feeling anxious. What's worse was they were somehow to be blamed because they lied to Newell's, so Messi was not welcomed there anymore. Messi even tried to join Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid in Spain, but it didn't work out. Then, a simple napkin changed Messi's life forever. Messi's agent met with Carlos, and Messi's father called, desperate to find a solution. Messi was already planning to go back to Argentina because nothing was happening. Carlos realized he needed to act fast if he wanted Messi in Barcelona. He grabbed a napkin, wrote a pretend contract, and signed it, saying Messi would join Barcelona no matter what, even if there were club members who were against it. This move reassured Messi's family, and over the following weeks all the paperwork was sorted out, making Messi an official player for FC Barcelona. They just needed to register the family in Spain before Messi could start playing. During this time, Messi was in a kind of waiting period. He wasn't officially tied to Barcelona yet, but he was living like a typical academy footballer. News spread quickly, and other big clubs like Juventus, Inter Milan, Liverpool, and Real Madrid all tried to get Messi's agent's attention. Even Arsenal got involved, with their coach Arsene Wenger meeting Messi's agent for dinner to learn more about him. Wenger has even said they were close to signing Messi, just like they did with Fabregas. But in the end, Messi decided to stay with Barcelona, starting a whole new chapter in his career. In the beginning, Messi wasn't allowed to play for Barcelona's academy. He was still officially part of Newell's, and because he was from another country, he was considered a minor who wasn't part of the local community. For the first year, the only solution was to let him train with the team, but only participate in friendly matches with the B team. Even though Barcelona tried to protect Messi's talent, they eventually realized they had to let him play freely. However, in just his second game for the club, disaster struck. Messi broke his leg and couldn't play for the rest of the season. There were concerns that he might struggle to play as well as before, but once he recovered, he was able to officially join the Spanish Federation. He quickly impressed everyone and was promoted to the under-16 squad. He trained under Tito Villanova and played alongside other talented players like Cesc Fabregas and Gerard Piqué. It's interesting that both Fabregas and Piqué eventually left Barcelona for England, so the idea of Messi moving to Arsenal wasn't as crazy as it might seem. When Messi first joined the squad, he was very shy. Some players didn't even notice him until he had already sat down in the locker room. When the coach asked him what position he preferred playing, the other players were scared because they had heard amazing stories about Messi's skills. One goalkeeper from that squad even joked that the only way to stop Messi would be to pull out a gun, but he thought Messi would probably dodge it anyway. But that doesn't mean Messi was immune to health problems. Even though he no longer had to worry about getting the treatment he needed, the treatment itself became a challenge. In the early years, it affected Messi's body in a bad way, especially his stamina. In his early interviews, you can hear him lamenting that he struggled to keep up with the pace of the other kids. However, whenever he found the energy to perform, he was unmatched. Messi had a unique playing style, almost like he had invented a new way of dribbling. While many compared him to Diego Maradona, Messi's aggressive forward movements and lightning-fast adjustments to the ball set him apart. His moments on the field were unforgettable. As the years went by, Messi quickly rose through the ranks and started to bond with his teammates. His family returned to Argentina, and Messi began living at La Masia, Barcelona's youth academy. While other kids could see their families almost every weekend, Messi could only be with him once or twice a year. Despite this, he remained focused on his training and development. Despite the challenges, Messi kept pushing forward. By his fourth year at Barcelona, when he turned 16, he achieved something remarkable. He broke a record by playing for 5 different squad levels in just 1 year. Before him, no one had managed more than 3. That year, he started with the under-19 B squad, then moved up to the under-19 main team. Surprisingly, he was even called up to the first team before playing for the C and B teams. This showed that Messi excelled at any level. The debut of Barcelona's first team happened unexpectedly. They were invited to play a friendly against FC Porto at the opening ceremony of the Dragao Stadium. However, they were short on players, so they had to call up academy players like Messi to fill the squad. On that day in 2003, people got to witness the first 16 minutes of a 16-year-old Messi, who would later become Barcelona's greatest player ever. Before Messi's first official season started, there was a long-standing debate about his international allegiance. The Spanish Federation tried to bring him onto their team once they realized he was eligible for citizenship. However, Messi, who grew up idolizing the Argentine national team, was determined to play for Argentina. To settle the matter, Argentina arranged 2 under-20 matches in June of 2004 to officially cap Messi as an Argentinian international. This left people wondering what could have been if Messi had joined the phenomenal Spanish national team of the late 2000s. And that's the life of the great Lionel Messi. What do you think of Messi as a football player? Have you had your share of obstacles to reach your dreams? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel and tap the notification button to stay updated on the latest videos.